This happened last winter in Chicago. I'd just moved into a small old apartment building on the north side. It wasn't fancy, cracked paint, buzzing pipes, the kind of elevator that makes you pray every time you ride it. But it was cheap, and the landlord didn't ask many questions. It was exactly what I needed after a breakup and losing my job. The building was quiet. Most of the tenants were older, retired, or just kept to themselves. The floor above mine was being renovated, so technically, it was empty. That detail becomes important. It was a Sunday night in January. Snow falling, streets empty, the kind of silence you can almost hear. I was in bed scrolling my phone when I heard a sound above me. A slow, deliberate thud. 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 At first I thought, construction maybe? But it was nearly midnight, and the apartment above me wasn't supposed to have anyone in it. The sound stopped. Then a long scrape, like furniture being dragged across the floor. Then nothing. I remember laughing nervously, telling myself, old buildings make noises. Relax. I turned off my lamp and went to sleep. Or tried to. Because around 2 a.m. it started again. This time, lighter, softer. Like someone walking slowly from one end of the ceiling to the other. Back and forth. Back and forth. I stared up at the ceiling, waiting for it to stop. It didn't. The next morning, I went up to the third floor out of curiosity. The hallway lights flickered. The air smelled like dust and plaster. All the doors were shut except one at the very end. That one was open about an inch. "Hello?" I called out, just in case a worker was up there. No answer. Just the soft creak of wood when the wind pushed against the frame. I looked inside. Nothing but an empty room, a ladder, and a few paint cans. But there was a coffee cup sitting on the windowsill, steam still rising from it. I left fast. Told myself maybe a contractor had stepped out for a minute. That night, I double-locked my door. 2 nights later, there was a snowstorm, heavy enough that the city went dark in spots. Around 11 p.m., the power in our building flickered out completely. I lit a candle and sat in the living room, listening to the wind slam against the windows. That's when I heard it again. Footsteps above me. Slow, uneven, pacing. I called up to the ceiling half-jokingly, "Hey, whoever's up there, knock it off." The footsteps stopped. I exhaled, relieved. Then, right behind me, from the hallway inside my own apartment, came the faint sound of a floorboard creaking. I froze. The air felt heavier somehow. I turned my head slowly toward the dark hall. Nothing there. Just shadows moving with the candlelight. I told myself I'd imagined it. Storm noises, old wood, anything but someone inside. I didn't sleep at all that night. The next morning, I ran into Miguel, the maintenance guy for the building. I asked if anyone had access to the top floor. He frowned and said, "No, man. We locked it up 2 weeks ago." "Why?" I told him about the noises. He chuckled nervously. "Yeah, these old floors carry sound. Probably pipes expanding." But his eyes said something else, like maybe he'd heard things too. I pushed a bit. "Can we check it out?" He hesitated, then nodded. We went upstairs together. Every door was still shut. Dust undisturbed, except for that one unit at the end. The same one with the coffee cup. It was closed this time, but when Miguel tried the handle, it opened. Inside was empty again. But in the corner, behind a tarp, was a small sleeping bag. And beside it, empty food wrappers and a small, half-burned candle. Miguel swore under his breath. "Someone's squatting up here," he muttered. "I'll change the locks tonight." I felt relieved because at least that made sense now. Not ghosts, not paranoia, just some homeless person sneaking in. That night, I actually slept. 2 days later, around 1 a.m., I woke up again. Same sound. Thud, 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 directly above my bed. I sat up, heart pounding. Didn't Miguel say he'd changed the locks? Then, from somewhere near my kitchen, I heard a drip, like water hitting metal. I got up, grabbed my phone, turned on the flashlight. The sink was dry, but the door to the hallway was unlocked. I was sure I'd locked it. The flashlight flickered, and for half a second, I thought I saw something move past the crack under the door. a shadow, then nothing. I pushed a chair under the handle and sat up all night, light on, waiting for morning. The next afternoon, my landlord left me a voicemail. "Hey, we found signs of break-in upstairs. Locks were busted again. Police are checking it out. Don't worry." I wanted to believe him. But that night the power went out again. This time, not from the storm. Everything in the building went dark at exactly 12:14 a.m. And then, footsteps, not above, in the hallway outside my door. I held my breath. The footsteps stopped right outside my apartment. Then a faint scratching, like someone running a fingernail down the wood of my door. I whispered, "Who's there?" Silence. I reached for my phone, but the screen stayed black. No service, no light. Then the scratching started again, lower this time, closer to the lock. A soft click, like metal touching metal. Someone was trying to pick the lock. I moved quietly to the kitchen, grabbed the only thing that felt like a weapon, a heavy wrench I'd been using to fix a leak. The scratching stopped. Then came 3 slow knocks. Knock, knock, knock. I backed away, gripping the wrench, my breath so loud I could hear my heartbeat in it. After what felt like forever, the knocks stopped. Footsteps faded down the hall. I didn't wait till morning. I threw on my coat, opened the door as quietly as I could, and looked both ways. The hallway was empty, lights still out, but I could smell something faint, like cigarette smoke. I hurried to the stairwell. When I stepped inside, I heard a sound from below. A creak. Then the soft slam of the entrance door closing. Whoever it was had just left. I ran down anyway, out into the snow. The street was empty except for a single set of footprints leading away from the building. In the snow. I followed them for maybe 20 yards before they disappeared near the corner. Just gone. I called the police from a gas station down the street. They searched the building, found pry marks on several locks upstairs, but no one inside. Nothing stolen. They said, "Probably a vagrant, happens all the time." But they didn't see what I saw. I moved out 2 weeks later, found a smaller place closer to work. I still catch myself waking at 2 or 3 a.m., listening for those footsteps. Sometimes I think I hear them, faint, far away. Sometimes I dream that I'm back in that building, staring up at the ceiling, knowing someone's right above me. About a month after I left, I stopped by to drop off my old keys to the landlord. He was cleaning out units on the 3rd floor. He said they'd finally sealed off the empty apartment. Then he asked if I wanted to see something strange. He handed me a photo the cops found in the ceiling tiles. It was a blurry phone picture of the inside of my apartment, taken from above, through a vent. You could see me, asleep in bed. I asked him if they ever caught the guy. He just shook his head. It's been a year now, new city, new job. Still winter though, and some nights it gets too quiet. When the pipes pop or the heater hums, I still flinch. I keep a light on in the hallway, just in case. People always say cities are crowded, never lonely. But I've learned something different. There's a special kind of loneliness that happens when you realize someone else has been sharing your quiet, someone you never saw, never heard clearly until it was too late. So yeah, I got out. I'm fine. But every time I move into a new place, the first thing I do isn't unpack. It's look up at the ceiling and listen. Because sometimes silence means someone's still there, just waiting for the lights to go out again.